Hey, it's Ronai, and I'm here with Shannon. And I don't know if you know this, but I kind of love this time of year.
You are looking pretty cute, I must say.
So I have to ask though, this one,
Oh, we have options.
we do have options, or is it the more cute little
No, the other one. I like the other one.
like stripy one? Okay, we'll go
I
with
mean, they both look cute on you, but in terms of degrees of festive, that one there is, and it reminds me because the red and green, it's like traditional Christmas festive and like Grinch festive.
there we go.
You know how
I
everybody
was
loves
going for
that
that.
Grinch
Plus, I put
tree?
on my Hallmark lumberjacky shirt on, lumberjill, just so that staying with the Hallmark movie theme. Although it's not on Hallmark anymore. Like you could, I
They're
could pay for,
everywhere.
but Netflix has a ton.
I know.
So, I have definitely we've added a few more things to the bingo card. So that's been really fun. Just kind of like creating the different things.
Yeah.
But I don't believe we'll be here next week because next week is New Year or Christmas Eve, and I will be spending the day with my family and then going to Christmas Eve service at church. So,
I will be spending the day at home with I don't know who will or won't be here because we're doing our celebrating on Christmas Day and going to church like Christmas Eve on the years that we do Christmas. So my daughter, we do every other year because of my granddaughter. One year her dad has her on Christmas Eve, the next year he has her on Christmas. So we always do Christmas whatever day my daughter has her. And so every other year Christmas Eve is just quiet. There's nothing planned other than to go to church. And it's weird and really nice.
we've always done Christmas Eve with my sister and her family, and this year they're choosing something else, which totally fine. And then talking with my kids, my daughter was like, "Well, we'd kind of like to do Christmas morning with our kids at our house," and I was like, "Totally cool, totally fine." I have a sneaky suspicion that, or at least I hope that they will end up back at our house late Christmas Day. Just
Yeah.
because it's such a beautiful time to get together with friends and family. But because I've always had Christmas Eve plans, I've never gone to Christmas Eve service. And that was the one thing I told my family. I said, "Hey, so we're actually getting together Christmas Eve day, and then I'm going to go to the 5 p.m. service because
Yeah.
I've just never had that option. So I'm really excited. If anybody is in the Maple Grove area, the Grove is doing a really cool Christmas Eve experience, and I'd love to invite you. So yeah, come join me.
I'm gonna go right up the street. We have a little church that it's called Connections, and I'm gonna check out their 5 p.m. service. But then traditionally we go to our church. Our church has an 11 p.m. candlelight service.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, so we go to that one, and we'll probably we'll see. Mama's getting older,
I was gonna
and
say, I'd say I'd join you, but 11 p.m., I'm already in bed.
exactly, and I'll have hit the 5 p.m. service, so I might. This is pass it off to the younger generation. You all go to 11 o'clock still.
Yeah, I am at that point where I really enjoy my comfort and I early to bed, early to rise. Isn't that somewhere in the Bible? Like
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. I do the late to bed as late as possible to rise. I'm fairly certain that's not biblical, but
Oh, speaking of biblical, I kind of want to share, like we've been doing Unlikely Christmas and
no.
this past week they talked about Joseph. And it was just so cool because Joseph is mentioned, but he's kind of passed over a lot.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful in that he never like he never has a written word in the Bible. Nothing. He just quietly did what he was asked. Now, he could have done a lot of things, right?
Mhm.
He found out that Mary was pregnant before the angel came to him. And um, what was explained is like the engagement process back then, like it was a big deal. Like
Yep.
there was stuff that was exchanged, there were vows exchanged for the engagement, and then there's a year waiting process during that. It's a year-long engagement. And they were, supervised visits, all sorts of stuff like that. But like it was a big deal. It was pretty much
Yeah.
like being married, but they were married. And then in Jewish culture, for him to break the engagement, he literally would have had to divorce her. And it would have brought shame to her, brought shame to like so much shame, um, lots of different things. And it wasn't until he decided that he was just going to privately do this, like not publicly shame her, because he could have publicly shamed her. She could have been stoned.
Right.
Like there's so many things.
Yep.
After he made that decision, that then the angel came to him. So isn't that interesting? And one of the questions is, how do you respond when life gives you something unexpected, especially when someone hurts you? Because he would have been hurt. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, just so many things about it. And marriages were arranged back then. It never was done for love. But one of the cool things is that the bride actually did have a say in it. She could have said no, like that's not. But obviously there was something here that, well, obviously God prearranged all this, but um I just want people to think about that, like especially this time of year when yes, we're excited, we're coming together for family, we're doing all these different things, but people are also short-tempered.
Yeah.
They're quick to, I saw somebody throwing a fit at Discount Tire because he had made an appointment and they're like, okay, well, it's going to be 90 minutes. And he's like, I've been here before and I made an appointment online. And he's like, yeah, but when I made my appointment online as well, it said it would take 90 minutes. Right? I saw that. And
Yeah.
he's, but I've been like, you can get it done faster than that. And he's like, well, but we've got nine cars coming in every hour. And he's like, well, then you've overbooked. And he was swearing up a storm at this poor person. And I was gonna
It
drop
was
off
just
my,
like some poor person getting paid by the hour, like
yeah.
who,
And I was gonna drop off my car and then because you can do walk-ins, I was gonna drop off the car for a walk-in. And then when I had my appointment later in the afternoon, I was gonna bring the other vehicle back. Right.
right.
So that I swap and it would work out. And I decided not to lay that extra on him. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to drop off my van because that's the one that had the appointment like late this afternoon. I said, I'm just dropping it off early. No worries. Like, I understand that it'll be 90 minutes after my 3 o'clock appointment time. And the guy was like, thank you. Right. I was like,
Yeah.
no, but we're so short. People are so short this time of year with people who are just doing the best that they can. Things sell out. The person at the register has nothing to do with that,
Right.
right? But
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang for sure. Like
Mhm.
it's the most wonderful time of the year, and it's also the stress, the loneliness for people who don't have family, the struggles for people who don't have roofs over their heads or money in their pocket or all the things that um, we consider necessities, and then uh, the strain a lot of family relationships.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes getting together. I mean, there's nothing I'm more excited about than all of my kids and their significant others and everyone being here together on Christmas Day, but it's not that way for everybody, and it's not that way,
Yeah.
in all families.
I definitely have family I'm excited about, and I have family that is choosing to not be a part of family this year, which is so interesting to me. And
Yeah.
there's nothing I can do about that other than to pray for them and wish them well and hope that there's some understanding that will come at some point because I don't know. When you don't know what you did, you don't know how to fix it. But what I
Right.
love is here Joseph could have done so many things, but instead he chose to be kind and merciful when he didn't have to. And then after the mercy is when he was given all of the information. And from there, he just was a yes and amen type of man, which was so beautiful. He was strong and he was a protector.
Yeah.
And sometimes we overlook those people.
What I appreciate about Joseph is he was an actions speak louder than words sort of person.
Yeah.
And I mean, you really do. You really think about that time and that place and everything going on. And for anybody who thinks the Bible is boring, boy, you just got to dig a little deeper because there's the drama within the story
There's
of
so much
Mary
drama.
and Joseph and the scandal, the suspected betrayal, all
Well,
the
and
things.
another thing is, so the angel told him, not only like take Mary to wife, pretty much don't touch her. And then once the baby's born, you will name him Jesus. And by naming the child, he literally adopted him. Like he
Yeah,
then was Joseph's child, in the eyes of everyone because he named him. So that would have brought on the looks like, oh, yeah, you know.
right.
But it's just beautiful. So then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him and took Mary to his wife. So he was like, okay, all right, time to get up. Let's get this done. And he just quietly did that. When the angel came to him later and was like, hey, you got to take Mary and Jesus and get out of here because Herod's coming after everybody. He uprooted everything, moved to Egypt. And
Yeah,
then when they're like, okay, Herod's gone, he uprooted the family again, moved them to Nazareth, right?
yeah.
So it was just, he just was this quiet obedience. And
And human.
yeah,
It wasn't it wasn't quiet and just perfect non-human, just like Jesus obedience type, in terms of stereotypical. Um, he struggled. Like you said, he was going to quietly
yeah.
separate from Mary. But even in the struggle and even in the humanness, just like you said, the protective nature he had, the kindness he had, even when he honestly believed that, Mary had been with someone else. Like you
Yeah.
said before the angel came, it's impressive. It's an example of being still and thinking before talking and acting, taking action versus lip service.
How often am I trying to pull words back in that have just recently come out of my mouth? Um, Way too often, just so you know. Uh, so it's nice when you can recognize that and you can see those moments where somebody could have done something. I've actually had a couple of things this week where it kind of tested me that way, where I could have done something that as I started into, I was like, huh, I don't think that that's very ethical. And I stopped and was like, oh no, totally, totally not. But a lot of people would have been like, oh, no big deal. Just go forward with it. And I'm like, so, so having those times where you stop and you think about something before you do it, anything, especially getting cranky at people who are working this time of year.
and and it's so funny because to what point? Like all of that crankiness does nothing but work him up, doesn't get his vehicle done faster, doesn't help the person who's trying to help him any. Like it's all just a bunch of hot air
Yeah.
that's just
And
creating contention for no reason.
yeah, and I don't know, maybe he was like on a big schedule. Like you don't know what somebody is going through. But just like that,
Correct.
he didn't know what that worker was going through. And so often we're just so self-focused that we don't look and go, okay, how could, instead of like, yeah, I'm frustrated about what's happening right now. And believe me, I have gone off on people.
Yeah.
I work really hard now to go, okay, like I'm so frustrated. And a lot of times I will tell somebody that I'm really wanting to go off on.
Yeah.
Like I'm so frustrated by this situation right now. I understand that you're not the one who's created this. How can you help me to resolve this because it's your company, right? The company you
Right.
work for. And I found that in doing that, first off, I acknowledge to the person, I know that this isn't your fault, unless it is their fault, but most often it's not the person's fault who's trying to fix the problem. It's set up by all sorts of things. The other thing is planning extra time, especially this time of year where there's ice on the roads or there's snowstorms or
Yeah.
there's just extra traffic and different things that are happening. Just plan extra time, and that's super helpful. And I
Well,
don't know what all this has to do with Joseph. I just like there's like a combination of just watching how Joseph reacted with such mercy and such tenderness when he could have gone off.
yeah, justifiably could have.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about, take a deep breath and read the room. You know,
Mm,
we went out to dinner the other night and this poor little waitress just kept forgetting everything, like, forget this, forgot this, forget this. And it's like it could have been easy to get frustrated with from her, but just sitting for a moment and watching her and realizing like the girl was not sitting down and to realize how many tables she was serving. I don't know if they were short staffed. I don't know what their situation was, but clearly it wasn't for any lack of effort. I think she was just that, behind the eight ball with as many tables that they had there, and they get bigger parties coming in this time of year. And it's like you have a choice. Like I could have gotten really frustrated. I could have but I'm not sure how that would have helped me. And I'm not sure how that would have helped her. And that I think that's the part where it's like, take the deep breath and just kind of assess, is this really worth the reaction I'm about to have,
yeah. Well, and I'm going off of notes that I took on Sunday, and this feeds right into that is be careful not to rush into action, but bring God into everything. So, yeah, you could get frustrated and you could go off, or you could go, okay, God, first off, what am I supposed to learn from this? Or how can I help somebody who's in a struggling situation? So, I've been a server before. And when somebody calls in sick, and especially this time of year, there's lots of people calling in sick.
Yeah.
So then you've got double the tables. You're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. You're trying to make sure that everybody's happy. And typically no one is because stuff falls through the cracks. Or maybe it's the
Yeah.
kitchen staff who falls through the cracks. Like you might have enough servers, but if you don't have enough people in the kitchen, then that's a problem as well.
Yeah. What I like about what you started with is you said, I don't remember what you said because I don't have that much memory retention. But what I remember of what you said and when you started it is you're like, okay, God, what do you want me to learn in this situation? And then you said something about and how should I communicate or how am I supposed to help this person? Um, doesn't necessarily matter what you said. The point of what you said is you asked questions. You didn't
Yes.
like, oh my gosh, God, I am so, can you speed this up? And blah, 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 blah. And she and he and the tires and you were like, okay, God, what am I supposed to be learning right now? How can I help this situation? I think I have found my prayer time has changed profoundly since I spend more time seeking versus asking.
Yeah. Where am I needed today? Where are
Yeah.
my strengths needed to help somebody else today? I'm speaking at a church in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin in January. And one of the things that I will be working on is helping people with their talents, learning to to recognize first your talents, refine it, like what needs to be pruned, what needs to be worked on, and then to release it. And by releasing it, your talents were never meant for you. I mean, it's kind of
Ooh, that's good. Can we say that again?
your talents were never meant for you. They were
Hmm.
meant to help other people. Isn't that crazy?
I've never thought about it that way. That was good.
I hadn't until I started preparing this presentation for this church. But truly, your talents were meant to help other people. They were meant to build kingdom. They were meant to, like
To serve.
Joseph's talents weren't meant for him. They were meant to protect this beautiful child that was coming to protect Mary. Because,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, the things that could have happened to that poor sweet woman, right? Like girl. She was a girl.
Yeah.
And so his talents he used quietly and obediently to help. And what we can do, we have so many talents given to us, right? We've got gifts of the spirit, but we've got our talents that we have, and are to be used to help other people
Yeah.
and obviously help ourselves. Yes. As we understand who we are, we're going to be more open to sharing that with others. It's kind of cool.
It's very cool. We all know how I feel about it's very cool. I think I think the power in learning who you are is one, just understanding how God designed you
Yeah.
and the uniqueness of that design. Because you say it, you hear it, everybody's fingerprint is different. God don't make no junk, you hear all the different things. But when you uh really start to when you really start to break it down into the strengths and the talents, I think it's you see it for yourself. I think it's presented in a way that allows you to really see it in an undeniable way. Have you never heard that? So that was like a popular thing where it'd be like, God doesn't make any mistakes, God doesn't make any junk, you are here for a reason.
But that's my dad used to always say, God don't make no junk. And I've added that in to this presentation that I'm doing because it's so true. God don't
Right.
make no junk, right? But I'm also laughing because the way you say it, and because I've worked with you with strengths for years and
Uh,
helping you realize how amazing you are in your strengths, it's just so funny to watch this because truly you are one of those people who are like, no, my strengths are to be used to help other people.
yeah.
And I don't know how long it took me to finally get you to recognize that it's
I'm
okay to celebrate you as well. Like, w so yes, I said
yeah,
your
I'm still
strengths
not
are
good
not,
at that part. I
right.
mean, I'm getting better.
Your strengths are not meant for you,
Yeah.
but God doesn't want you to not celebrate who you are. He
Yeah.
created this beautiful, amazing poema, right?
Yeah.
Poema is the word for workmanship, like it means masterpiece. He created this masterpiece that you are. Every single one of you that is listening, you are his poema, his masterpiece, his living, breathing expression of glory here on earth. And that is a beautiful thing. And when we use our strengths for good, when we use our strengths for helping other people to recognize how amazing they are and the good that they can do, it just multiplies.
Right. I think what strengths did for me is took something abstract, took vague sayings like God doesn't make any junk, God made me with a purpose, God, well, all of which is true, but is very abstract, and said this is the details in how God made you with this purpose. This is, it's like one of those really detailed paint by numbers that has 1,000 little tiny things on there. And I would never have the patience to do it. Like it's like very detailed on this is who you are and this is how God made you. And these are the strengths you have that you can use to serve with.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You are fearfully and wonderfully made,
Yeah.
right? That's so beautiful.
And so when you're struggling because you're busy looking to the person to your left and to your right, thinking they have this, they have that, why can't I be more this way?
Mm.
Um, Strengths reminds you why number one, you can't be more that way, and number two, why you're not meant to be more that way.
Yes.
So
Yeah. We could boom, and right there. And it's just so true. At this time of year, especially, please know that God loves you and you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And
yeah,
if you can slow down long enough, you will recognize that the person next to you is fearfully and wonderfully made. The person who is frustrating you is fearfully and wonderfully made.
yeah.
And
And I
so
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and so when you're able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, right? Turn it around, switch the narrative. There's so many times that I could go off on somebody, and I've started just flipping the narrative and going, okay, what is it that's going on here? What is it that I can recognize, and how can I help this situation rather than just being really upset? And sometimes it's okay to be really upset. It's how you react to it that is and that's the beautiful example that Joseph gives us because it was okay for him to be really, really upset.
Yeah, and doubtful and hurt and all the things.
And he reacted with mercy and love and just. And then came the miracle. Then came the angel saying,
Yeah.
so sometimes we need to slow down. We're looking for those miracles. Maybe stop, make a wise choice first, and then let the miracle happen.
Right, because don't forget that God gives us free will.
Mhm.
Joseph could have chose another direction. The
Yeah,
blessing was in the choices he made.
absolutely. Trying to think of what else.
I mean, what would have happened? Like, what would have happened if Joseph would have been like, you have all these stories of the Bible of, people not listening and learning that it's like, I can't even imagine what would have happened if Joseph would have been like, I'm not hearing it. Like, no. What if he would have publicly, like, I mean, I know God knows the story and the plan, and God does give us free will. Like, it's really crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. Um, they were talking about somebody ran the numbers. I was just watching oh, so there is a guy who does reels, Trent Tribe. I love watching his reels. Like he's a pastor
Oh, yep. You
and
send them to me.
I do because
Yes, yep,
I just think he just speaks to me in a way that I'm like, yes, very cool, very loving, very and
yep.
he said somebody did the numbers. And it's like for all of the things to line up, for Joseph to be in that position, for Mary to be in that position, like for all of the things to line up, and just for eight of the hundreds of um, prophecies that were made about Jesus's birth. And the guy just took eight of them. And for all of them to line up, it was like 1 quadrillion or something. I'll have to find that. Maybe I'll drop that link in here because I just thought it was such a brilliant thing because all of these prophecies were made and Joseph was part of those prophecies, right? Because
Mhm.
Jesus needed to come of the line of David. And when you go through all the begats, the, the part of the Bible where you're like, okay, yes, and begat and begat and begat and begat, there's a reason for that. And it's so amazing because Jesus truly would have been king, right? It's kind of cool.
It's really cool. I think it's beyond comprehension cool.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
This girl is still just like in absolute awe.
I mean, and it's so many things you can break down when you start to break it down. I mean,
You know
I'm not even going to go on a tangent, but
what's funny is year after year after year, every year, because it kind of happens every year. Like
it's no less miraculous.
it's exactly.
Yeah.
But I think this year even more so. Last year, absolutely amazing after Faith Over Fear, right? Coming into Christmas season. And then this year even more so as I dive deeper into Bible studies and applying them in my daily life. Because you could be like, you know what, this book is pretty dang old. I mean, not this one, but the Bible,
Yeah.
pretty dang old. How does something 2,000 years old still apply in my life? Except for it does
Yep.
every day, not just at Christmas time, but at Christmas time, especially getting into, I've been reading through all four of the Gospels with a couple of friends and hearing the same stories in the, but with a slightly different
Different perspective.
perspective and still just being in awe, like the woman at the well or or the woman who bled for 12 years and how Jesus called her daughter and just brought her immediately back into family, right? I just want to cry. And it's such a beautiful thing that he does for us, all of us, right? It doesn't matter what my sins were
Right.
because I chose him and I chose a new life and through baptism and repentance and though your sins be scarlet, they're white as snow. And that's such a beautiful promise.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I feel
I've
like
been
as you get older, I don't know, maybe it's as you get older. I don't know what it is. I feel like as you get older, things have deeper and deeper meaning. You have more and more appreciation in it. I'm not sure if it comes from life experiences, gives you, different losses, different things give you more of an appreciation for the more important things. But I feel like every year it just feels deeper and deeper and more miraculous. Am I
yeah.
the only one? Does it?
Oh, it truly, like I was listening to a Christmas song that I heard. It was Away in a Manger, right?
Hmm.
And I think it was just a different version, but just the beauty of this immaculate conception and this babe that was born to sacrifice his life for us. Like it's just makes me weep because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I just heard this lullaby the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, that your daughter wrote and sang. And I think that was one of those songs. I was just like, oh, if every parent who held their child felt this lullaby for their child, and if every child knew the truth of this lullaby, and the lullaby is basically a song of who God made the child, who God made you to be, how you were just created by God, and it's the most beautiful. And she has such a beautiful voice. It was you should put that song in the comments. It's just like I listened to it several times, and I was just like, oh my gosh, if this song had been out when my children were little, every night I would have rocked it. But I honestly, it's an example of a song you could listen to over and over and over again, and just grasp more and more of the meaning of how God just individually and preciously. Can you just imagine? Just really think for a minute. Can you just imagine God for 1 minute? The joy he must get and being like, I'm creating this human being, and this is how I'm uniquely and wonderfully making them. And then the honor it is that he passes on to us to help teach that message to them. Like, I don't know, the whole thing was just amazing.
It's I I am very honored to be that girl's mother.
Yeah,
She is and she's teaching her boys so beautifully. Like
yeah,
it's such a gift to watch. And then to have her share that so that other people can experience it as well. Like it's so cool. It's so cool.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if I don't know if I shared this. I think maybe I shared this, but she sent me a message. She sends me these messages that the boys say to each other, right? So went in one of the mornings because the baby is 6 months old, almost 7 months old. He's 7 months old now, but this was a couple weeks ago. The baby is still in. their mom and dad's room. And so the two little boys came in and they saw that Isaac was awake. And so Owen is 5 and well, he'll be 5 next week, and Lewis is 3. And Owen says, "Hey, Isaac, I'm here for you." And and then he says, "Even if I'm in the other room, I'm here for you." Just like Jesus. Jesus is always here for you, even when you can't see him. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but Ellie said that she woke up and she heard this sweet little conversation happening, right? And she wanted to write it down and put it in Owen's book. And when she got up a little bit later, she made breakfast and she sat down and said, "Owen, I kind of saw what you were doing, and what was it that you said? And what prompted that?" And he was like, "Well, Jesus told me to go in and tell Isaac that." And it's
Oh,
just like the most beautiful. Children are so amazing and they're so receptive. There was so Lewis, I call him Bam Bam, and he's a little tank, right? He just will do things that you're like, buddy, that's not safe, right? And he went and he got his mom. This was this summer earlier. He got his mom and he said, "I need some help." And he was going to climb up on something, and he said, "But I didn't do it because Jesus told me that wouldn't be safe." And it's just so here's the cool thing, like God is here speaking to us. We
yeah.
just aren't listening most often. But if you just have that faith and that innocence of a little child, and you're asking him those questions, what can I do? Who can I go help? Who can I serve? You're going to know who. You're going to get an impression. You're going to hear a name. A person's face is going to pop up in your brain, and you're going to be like, oh, you know what? I bet that person needs some help. And inevitably, if you just show up with a meal or you call them or you follow through with that prompting, they're going to be like, "How did you know I needed something today?" This has happened so often.
And if you don't hear anything, chances are you need to stop, be still, and ask again.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I ask and don't hear God speak, it's always because I'm asking in a hurry and I'm actually not stopping to listen.
Yeah, like, "Hey, I want to go help somebody today, so like just give it to me." It's like,
Yeah, but when I stop and I take some deep breaths and I kind of calm my mind and then ask again, it's always very clear.
absolutely. Well, I think we have kind of stayed on track today, which is pretty good. Kind of all over. There's just a couple things. So, some questions to ask yourself right now. Where is God calling you to obey right now? What is it you need to protect that God has entrusted to you? Sometimes we need to obey even when the road is unclear. So, where do you need to say, "Yes, Lord," before you know the details? Joseph said yes before he knew the details. And then let your character speak louder than your words. So, what story is your life telling when no one is looking? And it's one of
It's a
those
good
things
question.
that I had two people today say very almost exact same wording, something very kind toward me. And I was like, "Oh, I need to listen because that is not something I usually see in myself." And so it was kind of a cool, beautiful thing. And to hear it from two separate people in two totally different situations. So sometimes the Lord is speaking to you through other people when you're not listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Very
um,
cool.
any any final words?
No, I mean, just Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you get to church. I hope you get to, if you don't, I hope you tune in somewhere on your TV and just celebrate the birth of our Savior and all of what that means. And I hope you have peace and joy and love and are surrounded by family and all the good things.
And if you're not, I hope that you can feel the peace and love and joy that God has for you. because sometimes we're not around family and we're feeling kind of lonely. Um, dive
You
into the
can come to my
scripture,
house.
right? Let us know. Let us know how we can pray for you. And yeah, wish you a very, very Merry Christmas.